Hi, Jesse with eTrailer. Today we'll be taking a look at and I'll show you how to install the eTrailer Class III Hitch on our 2017 Toyota Sienna. Adding a hitch to a minivan like the Sienna makes a ton of sense. It's a people hauler, so you don't have a lot of storage space if all the seats are full in the back of this thing. So this is going to give you the ability to add on some extra storage to the rear. Whether it be a cargo carrier or even a 4-bike rack, you'll be able to haul that pretty easily. You can also do some light duty towing, so maybe you need a trailer for all the stuff that you're going to be taking with you. You have the option to do that with this hitch installed. For a closer look at our hitch here, from the rear you'll see the cross tubes are visible. However, if you're standing up or in a car behind it, you won't really see it at all. We have a nice matte black powder coat finish here with your standard 2" by 2" receiver opening. Behind that we have a 5/8" pinhole. Pin and clip does not come included with the hitch. However, we have many options available here at eTrailer. Also, any accessory that you add on will most likely come with one included. And we also have a nice sturdy safety cable loop here. It's going to be super easy to get any style safety cable you might have, whether it be an S-clip like that or even a clevis style like this. Now for some measurements from the ground to the top of the inside of the cowler, factoring in the fact that we're on a lift, is 11 inches. So any accessory that you add on, I would probably look for something with a rise in it. And from the center of the pinhole to the edge of the bumper is about 4 inches, so just keep that in mind for any folding accessory that you might add on. As for the weight capacities with this hitch, we have a gross trailer weight of 3,500 pounds. That's the amount of weight that you can pull behind the vehicle, and a maximum tongue weight of 350 pounds, which is the amount of weight pushing down on the rear of the vehicle. You do have the ability to add on weight distribution with this hitch, which brings that trailer weight up to 5,000 pounds and your tongue weight up to 500 pounds. Anytime we're talking about weight capacities, I also want to mention to check your Toyota's owner's manual just to ensure that your Sienna can handle that weight safely. All in all, if you're looking for a way to add some more storage space onto the rear of your Sienna, you really can't go wrong with this hitch that we're talking about today. And as far as the install goes, it's really not that hard. It's just a matter of removing an underbody panel and lifting the hitch up into place, so you might need an extra set of hands. Then we got to get those bolts tightened down. So if it's not something that you're looking to do yourself, maybe you just don't have the time or the space to do so, feel free to check out our dealer locator. If you do plan on getting this hitch installed yourself, then feel free to follow along and I'll show you how we got ours set up today. To start off our installation, we'll need to get this plastic panel out of our way. Looks like we have a row of some 10mm bolts. We'll get those removed. Now on the front side of this panel, we have a bunch of push pins to remove. I have a pin removal tool, or you could probably use a flathead screwdriver if you don't have one of these. This tool just makes it a lot easier. We'll have to get into the centerpiece, try to lift that up. Once that centerpiece is popped out, the entire clip should come out too. And we'll just work our way down. Once we have all those push pin fasteners out, we also have some of these twist-on fasteners. I like to just use a Phillips screw, and while I'm turning counterclockwise, I'll pull down on it. And we'll just find the rest of those, take those out. Once we get those all removed, we'll just set that aside. All right, with that panel removed, we can see where our weld nuts are located, actually behind the sticker here. So mine's already started, but you can just run a flathead screwdriver under it and peel it off the rest of the way. And I like to take a wire brush like this, try to clean out any dirt because we are working on an older car today, so there's definitely some road grime built up in there. And I'll take our hardware and thread it in and out, make sure it's threading in smoothly. That way when we're holding the hitch up above our head, we don't have to worry about getting caught on the threads. So I'll just go through and do that same process with all 6 of our weld nuts. All right, now on the passenger side, we have a tailpipe in our way, so we'll need to get that lowered down in order to get to our weld nuts. So I just sprayed some soapy water on this exhaust hanger here. And with a pry bar, I should be able to work it off. Kind of have to work it out. This one's kind of hard to get any kind of pry onto, but eventually it should pop off. And that'll be the same process with this hanger up here. One thing I forgot to mention, when we're removing these hangers, we want something to support the exhaust. I just have a cam strap here. You could also use a floor jack if you're working on the ground, but I'll get this one removed, and that should give us enough room to work on those weld nuts on the passenger side. So before we get our hitch lifted up into place, I'll just show you how our hardware will install. We're using these 3 holes on each side. We'll use a bolt with a conical tooth washer with the teeth facing up, and we'll just thread it into those weld nuts that we have cleaned out before. Now I'd recommend to have an extra set of hands. I have my friend Joe here to help me. We're going to lift this up into place. We have our hardware within arm's reach. So we'll just try to get our holes lined up here. And just start, we'll just get one threaded for now. And once we get one threaded, they should hold our hitch into place. The instructions will say to cut out a slot here. They have a little diagram. You could do that. However, we're just going to cut out this side. It just makes things a little easier. So I'm just using some tin snips, and we'll get that cut all the way through. All right, so before we snug our bolts down, we'll just slide our cut underbody panel in to place. You will kind of have to sneak behind it, make sure you're not hitting any of these rubber grommets. But it should work itself into place. And then once we get everything lined up, we can install all of these screws and push pins that we're holding this together. Now we'll take a 19mm socket and get all of our bolts snugged down. We'll take our torque wrench and torque everything down to manufacturer spec or the specifications listed in the instructions. If you don't own your own torque wrench, we do have some available here at eTrailer, or you could always rent one from your local auto parts store. I'll just go through and get all 6 of our bolts tightened down to the specification. Now we've got our exhaust hung back up, and we'll remove our strap, get that out of the way. Otherwise, that's going to do it for our look at and installation of the eTrailer hitch on our 2017 Toyota Sienna.